looking at who the prime
But
minister
is this
should
also
be.
a Russian election when it comes to rural India, when it comes to the poor, that this guy is sending us
Certainly,
food every month?
certainly.
This guy is ensuring that our
Certainly.
children don't go to bed hungry. You know, this is what we want to continue.
So welfare is at the heart of Indian politics right now. It is
not Ram. It's Russian that decides this election.
It's
then
calm versus Ram. Well, that's the whole thing. No, but the welfare is the star of Indian politics right now. Everybody's competing to give the best welfare delivery platform to voters.
But then, you know, we'll still wait for Andhra Pradesh's elections results to come out, especially the assembly elections.
But the exit polls are very interesting on that.
But because if welfare is at the heart of Indian politics, and if that is what people reward, why has Jagan Mohan Reddy not been rewarded? I mean, his welfare schemes are stellar, especially for women.
Well, you know, that happens because look at Telangana as well. BRS rather lost in the assembly elections, although KCR's welfare schemes are extremely popular and quite on point. So these things happen. Everybody is competing, right?
Everybody is competing. I think what also works for Narendra Modi and the BJP is that at least at the top level, look, no one can deny the fact that there is corruption at the lower level. I mean,
always,
all Indians, all middle class Indians, you know, you go out, you know there's corruption at the lower level, but at the top end, you know the guy's clean. And that is not something that could be said for Jagan Mohan Reddy.
Yeah, well, that is the perception.
That is not what you could have said for BRS.
I think the perception, yes, among voters is that about the Prime Minister. Also, you see, the BJP has a huge advantage in terms of its machinery.
Correct.
It's able to talk about its schemes.
100 ka aakda paar kar liya bhai. As we speak, as I said, ladies and gentlemen, we'll speak for the next 3 hours. You just need to keep your eyes on the scroll. The NDA, piece of news coming in as far as early leads are concerned. 101 ladies for the NDA. When we give 100 rupiah in a lifafa on a happy occasion, we never give 100 rupiah, we give 101. So 101 for the NDA. Ruhi's just, she just rolled her eyes.
I don't know what to say.
She just rolled her eyes and said, ye kya ho raha hai? Hi Neoma, good morning. How are you doing? Happy to see the numbers on your screens?
Hi, good morning. It's such a good morning. It's not even funny, and so happy and so reassuring to see what's happening. I don't know if you can hear me because the voice is really breaking. The country's can you hear me?
Loud and clear, Neoma. And let me just tell you why Neoma cannot hear us and why there is so much background noise. This is the BJP headquarters. Neoma, you're at the BJP headquarters. And there are these little cubicles and all BJP spokespersons are
That's
there.
absolutely
So there's a lot
right.
of cross-talk. I understand that. Neoma, go ahead. हाँ, तो आप जोर से बोल दीजिए, हमें आपकी आवाज़ सुनाई दे रही है. Go ahead, please.
India has voted for development. It's going to be a historic win with the Prime Minister coming in the third term, which has never happened in the history of India. The women have voted, the youth have voted. So we are on an adrenaline rush, an unexplainable adrenaline rush.
Okay, it seems Neoma hasn't had much sleep. Neoma, by the looks of it, you've not got much sleep yesterday. Was it nervousness? Was it something else?
See, overconfidence for me is a buzzkill. So I had surrendered to faith after working really hard. And this is a culmination of hard work with pure intentions. So that's how I would project this election result for all the people who work towards achieving development.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, first leads out, more than first leads out actually. It is 100 par for the NDA, 400 par we don't know, we'll see. But 100 par for the NDA, India at 50 right now. Early leads, I just want to qualify this as many times as I can at the cost of repeating myself and at the cost of you guys getting irritated that these are early leads. We'll just have to wait and watch if these actually convert into votes. But I think there's a fair indication as to which direction this election is going. Tausif, hi, good morning to you. I saw you in the guest room. I wanted to say hi.
Hi, good
and
morning,
then
sir.
I just had to rush to the studio. But before I come to you, good morning. HD Kumaraswamy at a temple in Vocaliga Sears, I believe. Hi. Maybe we'll get a cup of coffee after this because by the looks of it, हमारा काम बहुत ज़्यादा होने नहीं वाला है तौसीफ. By 10:30, 11, I think things will be settled and we can all chill and have a cup of coffee and let the BJP take over because once the Very depressing early trends. Why do you call them depressing? Because as you speak, we can see Mr. H.D. Kumaraswamy at a temple. He's meeting Vocaliga seers, and I understand that everyone can do with some divine blessings. Given that it's a big day today, we'll talk about that scandal in a bit. But Tausif, why so depressing? I mean, exit polls had told you what is coming today. You only said ye bakwas polls hain. These are Modi polls. No, these have been made in the BJP headquarters. Turns out they were correct.
Yeah, See, no, the exit poll has a reputation in Bengal in 2021. They had projected very less seat, around 140 to 160 for Trinamool, but Trinamool got 212. So I have a very good reasons not to believe the exit polls. And now the early trends, since as they are called, you know, whatever it is, now gone 130, is shooting up so high. So yeah, it is very depressing. We are looking for a change. We want some new energy in the government. We want to, you know, bring new people with new ideas, with the same thing, same Hindu Muslims, same dictatorship, same Modi Bhakti. You know, we are all fed up with this. We were looking for some change. I mean, even if the Prime Minister face changes, we'll bring some new energy to the country. I mean, there's a stagnation, and a very, very important quote, very famous quote by Ram Jethmalani, and we all revere him. He's a very famous lawyer. So he said once that, like in swimming pool, we need to change the water periodically. So similarly in politics, we need to change the government, you know, periodically. So if for 5 years the one government gets okay, if they perform well, give him a second chance. But after second chance, after 10 years, even if they perform well, you got to remove them. If you really want the country, if you really want the system to keep going with, you know, allow new ideas to foster, you have to change it periodically. If you're in so love with the same set of people, let them wait, let them play a role of opposition for some time, and then again bring them back. But anyway, that is my, I mean, that's my thought. That does not reflect in the
what can you
results
do?
that we see today. That's why I call it depressing.
Tausif. Chalo, depressing to theek hai, but what can you do if the couple has happily settled? You know, if they don't want a divorce, why are you insisting that the couple goes for a divorce? It's 10 years and the marriage is still stable.
No,
if the groom and the bride want to continue with each other,
marriage can stay.
I believe, give me a minute,
we just want the couple to move out of the house, let another couple occupy.
If the house is good.
Congress നൂറിനും കാട്ട് കിട്ടുമെന്ന് ഞങ്ങൾക്ക് പൂർണ്ണ വിശ്വാസമുണ്ട്. അതും ഞങ്ങൾ ഗ്രൗണ്ട് റിയാലിറ്റി കണ്ടിട്ടാണ് പറയുന്നത്. കാരണം ഞങ്ങൾ എല്ലാവരും പ്രചരണം ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ ഞങ്ങൾക്കും ഒരു പിടുത്തമുണ്ടാവുമല്ലോ. ഇവിടെ ഒരു വിജയം ബുദ്ധിമുട്ടാണ്, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഇവിടെ ടൈറ്റാണ്, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ അവിടെ വിജയം എളുപ്പമാണ്. അങ്ങനെ ഒരു തോന്നൽ വെച്ചിട്ടാണ് ചെയ്തിരിക്കുന്നത്. ശ്രീ ഖർഗെ എത്ര ഒരു അനുഭവിയാണ്. അദ്ദേഹത്തിനൊപ്പം ഇരുന്നിട്ടാണ് ഈ നമ്പർ വന്നിരിക്കുന്നത്. അപ്പോൾ എനിക്ക് തോന്നുന്നു ഇവർ പറഞ്ഞ പോലെ ആയിരിക്കില്ല. ഇവർ പറയണത് പിന്നെ ഇന്ത്യ അലയൻസ് മൊത്തം 150 ഈ എക്സിറ്റ് പോൾ കാണിക്കുന്നത്. ഞാൻ പറയും എന്തായാലും അതിനും കാട്ടും നല്ലോണം കൂടുതലായിരിക്കും. എത്രയെന്ന് പറയുകയാണെങ്കിൽ ഖർഗെ സാർ ഇറക്കിയ എണ്ണം 295. അതിനെ നിങ്ങൾ ഒരു യാർഡ് സ്റ്റിക്കായി വെച്ചിട്ട് പിന്നെ നോക്കൂ എന്താ വരാൻ പോണെന്ന്.
Okay, since I don't understand the language, I'm going to request Abraham to tell us what exactly Mr. Tharoor is saying.
As per the Kargeji is clearly quoted, at most 295 would be the benchmark for Congress party and the India Bloc Alliance. He would be going ahead and giving another 10 or 20 seats more from their viewpoint. And that is what the ground reality is all about.
Is he winning his seat though?
Yeah, he is telling he will be optimistic to win a seat, and let us wait and watch.
Let's wait and watch. But do you think he'll win his seat? Because his opponent is a formidable one, a sitting union minister, and an articulate one again.
But anything can happen in an electoral politics, you know. Even the Prime Minister lost election in Indian democracy. So we have to wait and watch whether it has been resonated with the pollers, electoral voters on the ground, because ground aspirations is something different. I'm still restating the same point. India has, beyond 2014 and 2019, 2024 election is somewhere you don't have any anti-incumbency in a much more larger way. But there is some undercurrent which has been played like in 2004, where entire exit poll was saying that India shining and Vajpayee is going to come to the power. But the electoral result was duplicating the same, not the same thing.
But just look at the screen. I think the story is clear.
These are postal ballot, ma'am. You know much more better.
Correct.
543 seats. The ballot will be open only after 8:30 to 9 o'clock. Only then we will be knowing what is the electoral mandate leads have been coming. These are what the first lead which has been generating is our postal votes.
But if postal ballots were that irrelevant, Abraham, the fact is that the YSRs won't have gone to town about them, right? And to the courts about them.
No.
So they're fairly significant.
No, only thing is you should validate the postal ballot only before the counting process of the before opening of the VVPAT, because if it is done after the election, there are certain irregularities will happen to adjust the differences. If the margin is somewhere a little bit, the postal ballots can be counted on the end of the elections as well. So the BJP shouldn't take that route. That is the reason all the opposition party went to the court saying that the postal ballot should be counted before the opening of VVPAT.
Okay. Early leads from Mumbai. And ladies and gentlemen, just look at this. The prestigious South Mumbai constituency, Arvind Sawant of the Uddhav Thackeray Sena is in the lead, ladies and gentlemen. Early leads coming in from South Mumbai. Another lead that is coming to us is from Mumbai Northwest. This is where Amol Kirtikar, again from the Uddhav Thackeray Sena, is in the lead. And I don't think there are any surprises here. North Mumbai, Piyush Goyal, sitting minister in the government of India from the BJP, in the lead here. What about Mumbai South Central? Rahul Shivale Shinde. He's from the Shinde Sena, again in the lead here. So let's quickly take a look at Mumbai North Central as well. We have Sanjay Dina Patil, who is in the lead from Mumbai Northeast, that is. So right now, Maharashtra was supposed to be a bit of a khichdi, and there is no clarity on which way Maharashtra is going to go. And if early leads are to be believed, that's exactly how it's playing out.
Absolutely. And there is I'm not surprised about how Maharashtra is playing out, because on the ground, it was the most confusing election to cover. It's full of very, very kind of big contradictions. And there is a lot of confusion among voters about the two Shiv Senas, about the two NCPs.
But Mahayuti is in the lead. Matlab, if that early lead is anything to go by, Mahayuti is in the lead, but khichdi hai.
I would say that is more because of the BJP and the Modi factor, because I'm not sure the allies themselves as allies are playing out that well for the BJP. So, I mean, going ahead in the assembly elections, because they are this year, the BJP will really have to rethink its game.
But we often forget, when we speak about the BJP, we often forget that in 2019, the BJP and the Shiv Sena together were the largest alliance.
Correct, they were. Sure.
And the BJP was the single largest party.
Sure.
So, so if they end up doing well, it should be expected.
But everything has changed since 2019.
In the last 2 years.
I mean, it's the last 5 years in Maharashtra has seen everything. There's everything that's happened. Parties have split, families have fought, alliances have become, all kinds of very weird permutation combinations. So everything has changed. Maharashtra that's why it's the most interesting and the most complicated state right now.
So early leads that are coming to us from Mumbai seem to suggest that the MVA is leading in 4 seats in Mumbai, which means the Mahayuti is ahead. Would you want to hazard a guess when it comes to Baramati? You track women voters in this country, but Baramati is an absolutely...
I am not going to hazard a guess about any seat in Maharashtra.
Kyunki saas bhi kabhi bahut hi story playing out in Baramati.
It is a very, very interesting contest, but as I said in Maharashtra, I'm not going to hazard any guess about any seat. It's just really, really...
But is it a contest between the two women, or is it a contest between uncle and bhatija?
Both. So I'll tell you, the thing with these factions of Shiv Sena and NCP is that it's interesting that it's a contest about who you want as PM, it's a contest about local issues, about the candidates, but most importantly about these two factions and the leaders leading these two factions. So who feels more aligned to Sharad Pawar, who feels more aligned to Ajit Pawar, and similarly for the Shiv Sena.
Again, I'm just going back to our screens because that is where the story is. And that's what honestly, I mean, we can do as much analysis as we want to here in the studio. But the fact is, the story ultimately is about numbers. And the numbers, ladies and gentlemen, are racing ahead as far as, there's Ajit Pawar as we speak of him. There he is. In many ways, this election is testing him as well.
Right.
And is testing the fact that, what's the narrative that played out? Here's an elderly gentleman, someone who formed the party, someone who nurtured the parties, someone who nurtured Ajit Pawar as his son. And by the end of it, Ajit Pawar not once but twice does what he does his own thing. And this is where we are today.
Right. So, Shreya, there are different kinds of narratives, right? Let's just talk about the NCP first. One narrative is what you mentioned.
Because if you speak to Supriya, she still speaks with a certain degree of hurt about what happened.
Right. So there is that one narrative, of course, that Sharad Pawar was betrayed by his nephew and, you know, he's the real leader of the NCP. But there are people who also say कि शरद पवार जी ने भी तो ये पहले किया है, उन्होंने भी तो पार्टी छोड़ी है, उन्होंने भी तो अपनी पार्टी स्टार्ट की है, तो ये कोई नई बात नहीं है राजनीति में. So, you know, it's a question of conflicting, battling narratives. Similarly, in the Shiv Sena, there is loyalty for Uddhav Thackeray because of the last name, but there is, well, Shinde also has his own.
Dharam Sankat.
No, I have a say in
Just a minute, because there's something that is coming in from the south. Abraham, you'd want to look at this.
Okay.
I mean, expected, yes. Rahul Gandhi leading in Wayanad. We'd heard from Annie Raja earlier this morning, his opponent from the left. She said, I have given this all I had. So this was not a fight on paper. This was a real fight that played out. But turns out, ladies and gentlemen, that Rahul Gandhi, who won by record numbers in Wayanad last time, is ahead this time as well. Tipped to win the Wayanad seat. No surprises here, Abraham.
100%. He is loved by entire Keralites, even cutting across the party line, cutting across caste, creed and religion. He's a revered leader in South, particularly in Kerala. The people love him like anything, and it will be replicated in Wayanad seat once the results are out. Even he will be cutting across beyond the last year margin. He will be going beyond the last year margin, I would say.
So what happens in the north then? If he's revered in the south, if he's revered in
No,
Kerala,
don't
what
put it
happens in
that
the north
way.
then?
No.
Well, he is most likely going to win a seat in Rae Bareli as
Rae
well,
Bareli
right?
as well, yeah.
So that's
100%.
so, you know, I will repeat what I've said in this election, that Rahul Gandhi, the Congress made a huge mistake by not contesting from Amethi. Rahul Gandhi made a huge mistake. He should have contested. There's a lot of unpopularity on the ground for Smriti Irani, and it was a bad call by the Congress.
Also perceptionally, what's the point of going to a safe seat? But just take a look at what's on our screens right now. We all know Taranjeet Singh Sandhu.
Right.
He is leading from Amritsar. He was India's ambassador to the United States of America not too long ago.
Right.
In fact, that has been a huge subject of debate, that you have diplomats, you have sitting judges quit and join the BJP and fight elections. So that's been a debate of its own in this election season. But the opening seems to be good for Taranjeet Singh Sandhu. If the leads hold in Amritsar, then he's becoming a member of parliament from Amritsar, a very prestigious seat.
You know, I think judges joining politics is very, very questionable. Sitting judges,
yeah.
It's very, very questionable.
Even for diplomats, I mean, the right thing is a cooling period.
Cooling period is always important.
To be there.
It is, but I think the BJP is desperate because its bench strength is quite weak. I mean, it's looking up in recent times, but when it first came to power in 2014, it had very few people who could actually serve as credible ministers. So the BJP is desperate to get people from outside the traditional party fold so that it can have some bench strength.
Okay, Rohini Acharya leading in Saran had said a couple of things about the Prime Minister in this election which didn't go down very well. Was a big controversy as well. You have two of Lalu Prasad Yadav's daughters contesting this election. You have Misa and you have Rohini Acharya. It seems that the younger one is leading. We'll wait and watch what is happening to Misa, but Rohini Acharya leading from Saran. But I'll just wait for this one, actually. I mean, a lead may or may not convert into,
Yeah, that's true for all the numbers. So we are basically, it's just more hypothesis right now based on leads.
Any analysis on what we could be seeing in Bihar? Because look, Narendra Modi's reputation is strong in the north. We understand that. But look, who he's allied with.
Right.
Someone who's called Paltu Ram, aaj idhar, kal udhar. So you can give a vote to anyone. Ultimately, by the end of it, you'll see that there's only one person who ends up becoming Nitish Kumar.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Nitish Kumar has really squandered away whatever he had accumulated, the goodwill, the popularity, and his the impression of being a very good administrator. He is to be blamed for where he is right now, and the kind of mockery that is often made of him, because really you can't. This is amusing politics. He's just always the CM with somebody else as support. It can't work like that.
Well, it is working, and
yeah, it is. I mean,
but
history is not going to be very kind to him, right? I mean, it's not something. He could have been the kind of leader Bihar needed. He changed Bihar from what it was under the RJD rule. There was better law and order. Girls felt so much safer. Education had improved. He was a good chief minister. I mean, just to be in power, he really squandered away all the goodwill.
And this election season, the BJP actually saw a loss. Sushil Modi died of cancer.
Yes, of course.
So that was a big loss.
Of course.
That was a big loss for the party. Our guests continue to be with us as we see the numbers racing ahead. Maybe we should just keep, before we go to anything else, just keep a close eye on the numbers, because once 272 happens, I know you can say abhi 9 bhi nahi baje hain, and these leads we should just wait, but 272 will be a psychological mark, and so all the laddu making and the puri making and the aloo making we are seeing at the BJP headquarters, uska kuch kaam aayega, which means they know what they are doing. They are prepared, they know how to fight elections, they know when they are winning, and they are prepared for the party. What time do you expect the Prime Minister to hold his roadshow and do the victory march and the victory speech? Sham ko hoga?
The only two people who know what the Prime Minister is going to do are the Prime Minister and Amit Shah. I think all journalists always get it wrong, because we cannot second guess the Prime Minister, and this BJP leadership is...
No, but I can tell you one thing. Whatever Prime Minister Modi does, there'll be a victory speech, etc., will be on prime time.
Of course. That way he's predictable, yes.
So it's going to be at 8 o'clock.
Makes it easier for all of you. You have so much to show at prime time then, you know.
At 8 o'clock is my show, the Urban Debater, so I'll just read the headlines, say over to the Prime Minister, and the Prime Minister will speak for 45 minutes.
That's true. He's going to try and target the prime time, yes.
Actually, Neoma, you want to leave? ऐसा कैसे हो सकता है भाई? You are winning today by the looks of it, and you want to leave Mirror now and go to another channel?
No. I just wanted to say something when you guys were talking about the women vote bank towards Sri Narendra Modi ji. You know, at one point we only spoke about the upliftment of women. Today we are speaking about the empowerment of women. So there is such a beautiful shift in where we women stand and select the right person for us as a leader. And when it comes to puri and aloo, definitely no calorie count today.
No calorie, and everyone at the BJP headquarters will have to eat puri, aloo and laddu for all 3 meals by the looks of it. 274, ladies and gentlemen. 274.
Yeah.
Ho gaya, Neoma ji. I don't know whether I should start congratulating you right away, but 274 to ho hi gaya. Bye. Chalo. BJP ko laga ho gaya hamara kaam. We are done for the day. Bye, Neoma. We'll see you. Tausif Ahmed, the numbers not looking good for you. There's a piece of news that may make you happy. Mr. Annamalai, it seems that the BJP is trailing in Coimbatore, high-profile seat. The Prime Minister made a lot of effort in the state of Tamil Nadu, and you have to give him that, Abraham. That they don't stop trying.
100%. That I will always give it to BJP. As you said, rightly said, they know how to fight an election on the ground zero without any discrepancies, and they will give 100% effort in that. I should agree with that.
And the DMK is leading in 24 seats, which means clearly, even this time, as expected, they are running away with this election.
37 to 38 for DMK is sealed
38 out of 39.
39. Only one seat I will be betting on in NDA block. That is Tirunelveli seat. Tirunelveli seat, because it is a former transport minister from the ADMK government who has been switched over to the NDA block. With BJP he is right now. And I would be giving him that seat because he is almost 45 years of dedication work in ADMK as a ADMK minister on ground zero. He is penetrated to length and breadth of Tirunelveli. So I would be giving the first account if NDA block should open in Tamil Nadu, then it will be on Tirunelveli.
And not Coimbatore, not Annamala. Despite what he has done, he's brought so much energy into the election in Tamil Nadu.
He never brought anything to the people. He just made sure
he did that Padyatra. Top to bottom of the state,
even his
fellow
friends didn't follow the Padayatra. It is a flop show, utter flop show in Tamil Nadu. Even he doesn't agree with that Padayatra is a huge success. Whether it is going to penetrate and change towards vote, that is not going to happen. He will be trailing and he will be losing at least with 1 lakh margin. 1 lakh vote margin he will lose. Keep it and write. His writing is on the wall.
Chalo, I am writing 1 lakh.
Please, for sure.
I am writing 1 lakh. That he will lose. You are saying Annamalai will lose with a 1 lakh margin.
100%. 80,000 to 1 lakh margin he is losing. And Mr. Ganapati of Coimbatore from the DMK party, he is well-known the length and breadth of Coimbatore, and he has done so much as a party cadre and as a social entrepreneur.
But in Tamil Nadu, which is DMK land, you are still giving the BJP one seat, and you're saying it's not because of the BJP, it's because of the leader.
Not because of Annamalai,
No.
because of the ADMK
Correct,
leader who
correct.
switched over to BJP. Because he had almost four decades of his hard work which has been penetrated in his constituency.
So the BJP was smart in poaching him then, no?
It is almost done before 2-3 years back, and he has his own permutation and combination to switch over the party rather than with ADMK. So it is not, I'm not giving the wholesome credit to BJP.
Okay, the big leaders in Kashmir are trailing. By the looks of it, Mehbooba Mufti is trailing. By the looks of it, Omar Abdullah is trailing. By the end of it, you could very well see this change, ladies and gentlemen. But for the moment, early leads from Kashmir seem to suggest that the big wigs of this election are trailing. But what an election this has been. I mean, you just need to stand and salute the election in Jammu and Kashmir because of the record turnout.
Right.
Including in the valley, about 50%. That's incredible, yaar. Jo bhi bolo.
Of course, yeah, that's true.
That we have to commendable because they believed in the constitution right now after the bifurcation of the state between Ladakh and this. Now the repose on faith on constitution has been happening in the Indian democracy.
I remember polling percentages in the Kashmir Valley, 3%, 4%.
Yeah.
From 3%, 4% to 50%. That's incredible.
Right.
What happened? I mean, there was so much bad blood in Kashmir over the bifurcation, over Article 370, etc. What happened? Well,
I think people perhaps do want to, I've not traveled to Kashmir, I can't answer for sure, do want to participate in the democratic process. But I would say that Kashmir is an election we have not talked about enough because it doesn't have those many seats. Everybody's interested in UP and Telangana and Andhra and West Bengal and Orissa, etc. And Maharashtra. Nobody talks about Kashmir. This election in Kashmir is actually one with a lot more implications than just who will form the government at the center. It is a watershed in a way in Kashmir. So that's an important election to talk about.
I do believe that Kanimoi is leading.
Of course.
She's leading, of course. You're saying, of course. Of course,
she will cross almost 3 lakh vote margin, she will win.
Nilanjanda, would you want to come in here? I'm just looking at the tally. Early leads, yes. But the NDA, it seems, is running away with this election. Look at their numbers right now, 280 to 107 of the India bloc.
A very impressive lead, and I've also been trying to follow state, breakups which are coming, though these are very early and they would likely change. There are one or two things which is surprising. The first thing which really caught my eye is that the Andhra Pradesh figures appear to be reversing what the exit polls were suggesting, that the BJP and its allies, that is the TDP and Pawan Kalyan, they would be actually doing very well in Andhra Pradesh. In the state assembly elections, it could be a different ballgame altogether. But here, I think, there is some kind of a correction in the making. But as again, it is very early. Still, these are leads. These are postal ballots. The actual EVM votes, will take some more time to come. It also, there are, the states where the BJP and the Congress are head on. There, the Congress appears to be, holding on to some seats. I'm not talking in terms of, it's not a clean sweep for the BJP, but the Congress is having, like for instance, Madhya Pradesh. There are also some reports of, at least I saw one plate which talked about the Congress, leading in 2 seats in Chhattisgarh. Rajasthan, we have not been able to see. West Bengal, yes, the BJP appears to be ahead of the Trinamool Congress, though the Congress had leads in 2 seats when I last saw at the state tally. So it's turning out to be an election. At the end of it, while the larger story may be from the present trend that if it gets maintained, that the BJP actually and its allies actually getting very close to a 2/3 majority. But the other thing is also going to be a lot of state elections, which need to be talked about, which could be a lot of talking points in the days to come as the verdict becomes completely clear and counting is over.
All right. Again, early leads from Maharashtra, very interesting. This The Maharashtra election, ladies, and let's just put the breaking on our screens once again. The Maharashtra elections are the ones that were said to be the most difficult to predict, and that is how it seems it's turning out to be. These are early leads again, ladies and gentlemen, from Maharashtra. We got you what's happening in Mumbai, the Mahayuti doing well. Now, some leads that are coming in to us from Baramati, where Sunetra Pawar, wife of Ajit Pawar, is leading. She is ahead. Which means the sitting MP from there, Supriya Sule, is trailing. Then again, Amravati, and Abhishek is joining us from Amravati. This is where Navneet Rana is ahead, Bid, Pankaja Munde ahead, and Sholapur, Praniti Shinde is, it seems, ahead. Very interesting, Abhishek. You know, the one battle which everyone in Maharashtra has their eyes on is in Baramati. It is the fight of the sister-in-laws, it's the fight of the uncle and the bhatija, as it were. And by the looks of it, the bhatija is winning. It's the sister-in-law that is winning. We don't know again. Early leads, but by the looks of it.
Yes, definitely. As per the early leads are concerned, we can see clearly Sunitra Pawar leading and Supriya Sule is trailing at this given point of time. And definitely, you rightly pointed out, it's a Pawar versus Pawar battle in their own bastion. Remember, Baramati is one of the high-profile seats in Maharashtra, which has consistently voted for the Pawar family. But now, after the split in the NCP, the people of Baramati were definitely confused, to go at which side. Both they had Ajit Pawar, who has consistently been a Deputy Chief Minister and worked on the development front. But at the same time, Supriya Sule, along with Sharad Pawar, was riding on the sympathy wave. And, the age group is concerned. The youngsters and seniors have their say, they have their soft corners toward Supriya Sule and the maker of Baramati, you can say, Sharad Pawar. On the other side, the other age group who are working, who are in direct connect with Ajit Pawar, day-to-day life and all the work that is being going on, wherein Ajit Pawar holds a ground-level leader in the Baramati and the nearby constituencies. So definitely, it's a tough fight at this given point of time, though the early leads are favouring Sunitra Pawar, but as the day goes ahead, we will have to closely monitor because, in fact, in the two-time past elections, in 2014, when there was a huge Modi wave, at that time also with significant 14,000 to 15,000 margin, we had Supriya Sule sailed through. And then with a margin of 150 vote in 2019, Supriya Sule again backed the seat. And this has been a traditional seat of Pawar family. So we will have to wait and watch out after the split. Where does the Baramati voter have gone and selected which Pawar? Definitely, it's a fight of political existence for the Pawar family, especially for Ajit Pawar. Back to you.
The NDA seems to have picked its women candidates right. Because you have not just Baramati, you have Amravati as well. You have Pankaja Munde as well from Bid, who's leading. Praniti also. Hi Niti. I see you there. Good morning. How are you doing?
Hi Shreya. Very well, very well.
Good morning.
And I'm liking the numbers that I'm seeing on your screen.
So, I'm fairly certain Tausif has been, he told me the numbers that he's looking at are fairly depressing for him, but 304 in the leads. You were 303 last time. Yani, pishli baar ka aankada you have crossed. Congratulations. Although, I think we'll just wait.
On the leads, yes, but I'll talk about the numbers after 11 o'clock. But yes. Yeah, but I think numbers should be spoken about after 11, 12-ish. But I think overall the picture looks pretty positive for us right now.
That's absolutely correct. These are, again, ladies and gentlemen, just leads. They will have to convert into seats as well. If you want a crystal clear picture, then the crystal clear picture will be with us at about 11:30, 12. But for the moment, I think it's very clear which way this election is going, at least as far as the leads are concerned. From Wayanad, we know that Rahul Gandhi is leading. That's very clear. And as we speak, these are the numbers on your screens. These are the leads on your screens, not the numbers. Others at 32, interestingly and significantly, the India bloc at 141 and the NDA alliance led by the BJP at 307. Rahul Gandhi is leading in both seats. The news coming in, he was expected to, of course, lead in Wayanad. That is happening. Was he expected to lead in Rae Bareli as well, which is considered to be the safest seat actually for the Congress party in Uttar Pradesh. So he's leading from both seats, and therefore the Dharam Sankat on which one he will pick, Ruhi.
But I would think they should pick Rae Bareli. It's a traditional family seat. They've already abandoned Amethi. It's very bad optics to also abandon Rae Bareli.
But isn't abandoning Wayanad equally bad optics?
Yes.
The South has stood with you. The Kerala is giving you the maximum amount of seats that any other
state will give you. It's a choice between the
devil
devil and the deep sea, right? I mean, you've chosen to do this. You've chosen to contest from both. But I would think if they've chosen to put Rahul Gandhi from Rae Bareli and not Amethi, then it's only fair to keep Rae Bareli. Otherwise, he should have contested from Amethi and given Rae Bareli to somebody else. It's such a safe seat for the Congress.
Tausif, would you want to come in here? We'll try and see what we can get from West Bengal in just a bit, but any word on Rahul Gandhi having to pick between Wayanad and Rae Bareli by the end of the day?
No, as expected, Rahul Gandhi's performance has improved. Not only his personal seat, but also Congress overall, we are going to see a improved performance. And so far, choosing among these two seats are concerned, I think ultimately one of the family members will come to to do a contest in either of these two seats. And I also believe that ideally Rahul Gandhi should stay in Rae Bareli and allow someone else to hold the fort in Wayanad. In any case, South India, as it is being seen, even the Annamalai, who had so much of weight behind him thrown by Prime Minister, walking with him on the streets, so visibly available on camera with Annamalai, and Annamalai being projected as to become a loser, again reinstates the claim by Congress that BJP is a SAF in South India, and whether it is half in North India, we are yet to see. But not so much, at least from the news from the South is not so depressing. But yeah, we are too early, it is too early to say. We all know.
11 baje tak.
Yeah, ballot. No, these postal ballot basically, all government votes basically, it remains with the ruling power. We have seen in this trend, it has been so forever. So perhaps after the machines are opened, perhaps around the noon, we will be able to, get a sense of really what is happening, how the day will end. Only after maybe 1 or 2 hours, we'll have to be patient.
Okay. Dilanjana, you want to say something, and then I'm going to welcome Dr. Pooja Tripathi, spokesperson of the Congress as well.
Yeah, very shortly, I'm just looking at the final tally. Not many, just about 50 seats more trends are to be expected. And NDA is 317, which means that it is nowhere getting near what we call 400 par. And if the NDA is 317, I do not know whether the BJP on its own is running towards a runaway majority. Are they, it actually, I feel like raising a question that if this trend continues, they may not be able to retain the 303 seats which they won in 2019. They may well fall short. So the last laugh may not be the BJP's if this trend gets maintained as towards the end. We have to still see, and now keep an eye on how much more can the NDA build the lead on.
Again, qualifying this, and as I said, I'm going to do this at the cost of repeating myself and irritating all of you, that these are early leads, ladies and gentlemen. It's only about 8:50.
Yes.
These are postal ballots, and Amit Shah ahead in Gandhinagar as expected.
Yes.
And as we know, Gujarat is, BJP is expected to do very, very well in Gujarat. So Amit Shah, ladies and gentlemen, ahead in Gandhinagar on expected lines. But please just be cognizant of the fact that these are early leads. At the end of the day, they will have to be crystallized into seats. The final number will only be put out by the Election Commission of India. This one, I think, will be clear by 12:31. But I do remember a time when we were in the newsroom, the whole because of Madhya Pradesh. You remember that election?
The 2018 Madhya Pradesh Assembly
Don't
election.
remind me.
Yes.
I was in office till 2 o'clock.
that election was quite something. It was a cliffhanger.
It was a cliffhanger, and you couldn't be sure till the last vote is counted. And ultimately, the Congress did win that one.
Scraped through. It's just
about
although it lost its government eventually, but yes.
Exactly. Dr. Pooja Tripathi, good morning. Kaise hain aap? Good to see you. I can see laddu pedas being made at the BJP headquarters. They have already prepared for a win. You can say these are early leads. You can say wait till 12 o'clock, etc. But the BJP has decided that they have won. आप लोग कुछ भी बोल लीजिए.
Decided, I think everyone should hold their horses, and the laddus and pedas can wait till 12 o'clock. Let the actual numbers come is very early. EVMs have been opened at 8:30, and we are still hopeful. We are still looking for a good fight.
You are looking for a fight, but by the looks of it, there has been no fight. I mean, there's been a fight, of course. This is an election. We are a part of participative electoral democracy. So obviously there has been a fight. You know, as we began the elections, everyone said, "Kitna thanda election hai? Kuch bhi nahi hai. There is no fight. Everyone knows who is winning." But as you got into the second week into this election, the India bloc did seem to gather its forces, gather some josh and energy and actually give it what it had. So on the ground at least, and in television studios, though, the fight had become very real. But if the numbers stand, again I'm saying early leads, but if the numbers stand, the fight then was only in the studios and nowhere else.
Yeah,
Will I be wrong in saying that? You don't agree? Go ahead.
I don't agree. India last gave a very dedicated, very committed fight. We set the narrative from the day one. They were like 400 par, 400 par. I don't see them crossing 400 par even with these numbers. From the day one, the Congress manifesto was out. Prime Minister Modi didn't only attack every point of Congress manifesto. He went to resort to lies and fakery, from Mangal Sutra to Muslims to Bhais Kholenge to Toti. I think where India Alliance stood on the constitutional values, stood on the people's issue. Prime Minister Modi took the political discourse every day down and down, but it's democracy at the end of the day, and we respect the verdict. And let's see how the numbers are. I'm still saying it's very early trend to be this jubilant, and we are still hoping for a good number.
No, I'm not jubilant because I'm not the one winning or losing this election. Everyone in the team is here. There is josh, there is excitement. So that is why I'm happy. I'm not particularly happy looking at the numbers. As I said, it will impact my life as an Indian citizen, but definitely doesn't impact my life as a journalist. I just have to report what the numbers are. If they are winning, what to do. If you were winning, I would have smiled as well.
But Shreya, just one thing, I do agree with her that the level of discourse in elections has really gone down, and I don't think the Prime Minister needs to resort to such polarizing conversation.
But remember the last election?
No, but why?
It was the same.
No, but my question is, the
Indian politics.
voters are voting for you, for your work, for your welfare schemes. Why are you going on alienating voters and talking like that? Why would you do that? There is no need to do it. The Prime Minister...
election campaign, Prime Minister Modi has said that we have made sure the development from this indices from the last 10 years. Any one campaign you show me, I'll quit the political analyst job.
No, he does both. My point is, he talks about the work, but he also does this polarizing conversation. So yes,
that's exactly what I want to say before I let Pooja in. The fact is, एक minute. There is a 1 hour. There's a 1 hour speech that is made, and he'll say a lot of things about development, ye kiya, wo kiya, etc., etc. Then he'll make these spot shots, and then he'll make these polarizing statements. But which is the one that makes it to the headlines? The polarizing statements.
No, but my point is, why does if you want to make these polarizing statements, leave them to other people in the party. The Prime Minister's office is an office of dignity. I don't think the Prime Minister should resort to this.
Okay. Pooja,
No.
To what? What was he responding to when he made the Mangal Sutra comment?
I remember his...
And the Guspetiya comment. Just a minute, Pooja.
His earlier Shamshan, Kabristan, all these
The wealth redistribution.
Neeti, go ahead.
The wealth redistribution and everything that they are talking about. It was about the wealth redistribution that he was talking about, and how do you communicate that to the people in the lower rung area? They don't understand wealth redistribution. And all of this is true. See, you cannot hold the Prime Minister responsible for responding to what you are saying. It is your manifesto, it is your leaders who have been making these divisive statements. The Prime Minister has been talking about development. He has been talking about his 10 years. But he has to respond to whatever you're saying. He needs to go and explain it to the people.
And what was he communicating when he did that?
I'll let Pooja come in, but where...
Mujra comment, I really want to understand what was he trying to communicate when he quitted India Alliance campaign to Mujra. can the BJP
I can't
panelists...
hear Pooja for some reason.
Acha, Pooja is saying that why was the need for him to bring the movement in? What was the message he was communicating there? Maybe he saw Hira Mandi. Who knows?
Could be possible.
That's not the point. The point is, it is your leaders who have brought down the entire narrative. हमने तो वहीं से शुरू किया था ना. We started with development. We started with our 10 years, and we started with our vision for the next 15 years. And that is where the Prime Minister was coming from. It is after
then
your
what happened after the
statements
first
came
phase?
in that we had to respond to that. You cannot hold us responsible for even responding. So it was them who brought down the entire narrative.
No,
you
what
can't
happened
tell
after
us
that?
You can't even respond. आप अपने उस पर रहिए. You don't respond to whatever they're saying. What happened after what?
No, but here's the
It was
point.
after the first phase, right? Till
But
first
Niti,
phase, आप लोगों ने बोला that the Prime Minister was
Just a
only
minute.
talking about development.
Just a minute.
There was no negative agenda.
Ladies, एक मिनट रुक जाइए जरा. Look at the seat numbers. Seat numbers nahi. Let me qualify. Seat leads. NDA 319, India 144, others 41. Tight fights in Karnataka. The BJP was expected to do very well, take at least 25 seats home, which was its tally last time. But it seems in the state of Karnataka, which is currently being ruled by the Congress dispensation, there is a tight fight that is currently underway. Amit Shah, I believe, is leading in Gandhinagar, and tight fights going on in Karnataka. DK Suresh is trailing after initial leads. That is very interesting. Would you want to say something?
Yeah,
Amit
that
Shah
would be very
expected, but why DK Suresh?
That would be an interesting. We will wait and watch. But as far as the Tamil Nadu is concerned, Mr. Annamalai is trailing almost 2,500 votes below, and the DMK party man is leading almost 6,000 votes on a shortfall.
Okay, I believe we have reactions that are coming in, and my producers are saying you're only talking, you're not taking reactions. So please let's listen into what leaders are saying today.
Yeah, I have no doubt. The expectations were set on the 26th of April, not today. Because the fact is that once people have cast their votes and the boxes are sealed in the strong rooms, there is frankly no further room for any argument or debate, right? I mean, this has happened, it's happened. So people have voted. All we have been doing is waiting 6 weeks to find out how they voted then. So whatever has been said since then, including the exit polls, can have no bearing on the outcome because the outcome was established on the 26th of April. Once you are there, you have earned the right to represent your people. And as far as they are concerned, whether you go there with a 10-vote majority or a 10,000 vote majority, you're still their representative. And I've always taken the view that once I have been elected, I am the representative of all, whether they voted for me or not. And I'll work in that same spirit and
सर कांग्रेस पहले से ही बोल चुकी है कि इंडिया ब्लॉक की 295 सीट आ रही है कम से कम, लेकिन दूसरी तरफ बीजेपी की बात करें, कह रहे हैं कि आप लोग सपने देख रहे हैं. वहां पर तो मुख्यालय में तो लड्डू बनने भी शुरू हो गए हैं, वो इतने कॉन्फिडेंट दिखाई दे रहे हैं. आपका क्या कहना है सर इस बात?
देखिए, लड्डू तो उन्होंने 2015 के बिहार चुनाव में भी बनाए थे, जो बाद में दूसरों को खिलाने पड़े. बंगाल इलेक्शन में भी बनाए थे एग्जिट पोल देख करके. तो एग्जिट पोल इस देश में उसकी क्या विश्वसनीयता रह गई है देश समझता है. हम एग्जिट पोल की बात नहीं कर रहे हैं, हम एग्जैक्ट पोल की बात कर रहे हैं. हमने जनता से जो फीडबैक लिया है उसके आधार पर एग्जिट पोल आने से पहले हमने कह दिया था कि हम 295 प्लस सीटें जीतने जा रहे हैं. और आज गिनती होने दीजिए, आप देखिएगा कि फेयर इलेक्शन हो रहा है, फेयर मतगणना हो रही है और इंडिया ब्लॉक आसानी के साथ देश में सरकार बनाने जा रहा है. ज्यादा वक्त नहीं बचा है. और अगर भाजपा कह रही है कि हम सपने देख रहे हैं, तो सपने जो देखते हैं उन्हीं के पूरे होते हैं. और हम जागती आंखों से सपने देख रहे हैं, हम सोते हुए सपने नहीं देख रहे हैं. इसलिए आपने जो सोता हुआ सपना देखा है, उस सपने के टूटने का वक्त आ गया है.
मेरे को आज दुनिया भर के लोग भारत का पार्लियामेंट लोकसभा का चुनाव के संबंधित रिजल्ट्स के लिए सभी लोग देख रहे हैं. मेरे को पूरा विश्वास है, एग्जिट पोल भी बताए, भारत के 140 करोड़ जनता के आशीर्वाद से नरेंद्र मोदी जी तीसरी बार प्रधानमंत्री बनेगा. जो हम
देखिए, भारतीय संसदीय इतिहास में 4 जून 2024 का दिन हमेशा एक बहुत महत्वपूर्ण दिन के रूप में याद किया जाएगा। आज जो नतीजे आएंगे वो विकसित भारत की एक मजबूत नींव रखने वाले नतीजे होंगे और पूरा देश इंतजार कर रहा है और नरेंद्र मोदी जी तीसरी बार प्रधानमंत्री बनेंगे।
मैडम, विश्व के इतिहास में इसका एक पैरेलल नहीं है। तीसरी बार जनता के बीच जाकर एक लोकतंत्र में एक नेता इतनी बड़ी जीत हासिल करना, ये बहुत बड़ी बात है। और विश्व के स्तर पे, वो अमेरिका हो, यूके हो, यूरोप के कोई देश हो, जापान हो, किसी देश में एक पैरेलल आपको नहीं मिलता है। मोदी जी विश्व स्तर पे एक बहुत बड़े हिस्टोरिक जीत हासिल किए हैं, पहली चीज। दूसरी चीज ये भी है, जनता ने भ्रष्टाचार, तुष्टीकरण राजनीति और देश को भटकाने का राजनीति, इसको जनता ने साफ साफ तिरस्कार किया है। इंडी अलायंस को आप जब देखते हैं, या वो जाति के आधार पर बने हुए पार्टी के गठबंधन है, या सब नेता भ्रष्टाचार के आरोप पे या बेल में हैं या कन्विक्ट हो चुके हैं, या बहुत बड़ी मुस्लिम तुष्टीकरण में सब लोग निरत हैं, ये सभी तीन मुद्दों को जनता ने तिरस्कार किए हैं। तीसरा चीज ये भी है कि आप जब देखते हो, विशेष रूप में दक्षिण भारत से जब मैं इसका व्याख्यान करूं, ये उत्तर भारत और दक्षिण भारत के बीच में जो डिफरेंस कांग्रेस पार्टी ने, इंडी गठबंधन ने प्रयास किए थे देश में शुरू करने के लिए, कि उत्तर अलग है, दक्षिण अलग है, बीजेपी का कुछ नहीं चलेगा दक्षिण में, इसको भी जनता ने तिरस्कार किया है। तो ये मैंडेट देश की एकता के लिए है।
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are continuing our coverage, bringing you the latest, sharpest reactions. In fact, I'm being joined by Ruhi right now, Ruhi Tiwari, who's a senior journalist, as well as by Harish Ibrahim, who's a political analyst, and we're also going to be joined by several other guests. I'm Sneha Koshi. I'm going to take you through the numbers and the latest that's coming in over the next 1 hour. Now, what's fascinating? Remember, as we have been telling you, the numbers that are flashing on your screen are just about the early leads which are coming from the postal ballots. EVMs have also opened. The counting for EVMs has also begun in some places. But the early leads at this point, we're around 9 o'clock in the morning. This is largely based on the postal ballots and the EVMs that are now beginning to open since 8:30 in the morning. Let me give you what seems to be the interesting trends. There seems to be a close battle. Let's just start with down south, because that seems to be a rallying point, literally, not only with the BJP-led NDA, but also the India bloc. It's a tough war in south of India. Let's get you, seems to be DK Suresh, who seems to be at this point trailing. We also have Prajwal Revanna, who is trailing. These are the initial 2 points. But as I said, trailing and leading is just shifting very closely, because the votes that have been counted are just that many, are largely postal and just about EVMs beginning. But the way the numbers are shifting for DK Suresh, Bengaluru Rural, as well as Prajwal Revanna, Hassan, these two perhaps are very good indicators of what may really lie. We don't know. Sunetra Pawar is leading right now in Baramati. That's what seems to be emerging. It's a close contest, as I mentioned, in several parts of Karnataka for that matter. In fact, if you look at Rahul Gandhi, he seems to have got a lead in Rae Bareli at least. In Wayanad as well, as he's expected to win Wayanad, at least according to the estimates that we have got. But largely, what does this all mean? Kanimori is leading in Tuticorin as well. I'm going to be joined by our reporters, and we'll be told as soon as we have the reporters with us. We hopefully will have them really soon. But
All right. So, Ruhi Tiwari, if I can just come to you at the first point. You're seeing what's happening with DK Suresh and Prajwal Revanna. Karnataka, by and large, has always voted for the BJP or the NDA when it comes to the parliamentary elections. No one is expecting a very big surprise. But in these two seats, or largely in pockets of Karnataka, there seems to be a close contest.
Right. So, I think the exit polls sort of made it seem like Karnataka was a sweep for the BJP. But before that, there was a lot of conversation around, I have not traveled to Karnataka, so I wouldn't know. I think he's a better person to answer that question. But there was a conversation about the Congress doing well in Karnataka and managing to hold ground. So, I think the exit poll sort of threw people off as far as Karnataka was concerned.
Okay, and all right. We are also getting leads of Uttar Pradesh, where India Bloc seems to be at the forefront, at least now, with the leads. But we'll just get to that in a bit. Harish Ibrahim, Rajiv Chandrasekhar seems to be at this point leading in Thiruvananthapuram.
But it
was trailing, and now he's leading.
Still it will shift.
So it's a very 2 and 4, as it would happen in a postal ballot if it is a close contest.
Hands
as well,
down,
too early
Shashi
to say.
Tharoor is going to lead at least by 50,000 margin at the end of the day, for sure.
Well, for those who have Shashi Tharoor or Thiruvananthapuram constituency, it's been a tough battle for Shashi Tharoor. Even if you look at the last two ones, and particularly last one, he did win with a good margin though, but it was a huge contest on the ground.
For sure, it is a tough fight.
The fact that BJP or NDA managed to field a candidate like Rajiv Chandrasekhar
100%. That I should
really
agree.
changed the game. I mean, any other hardcore politician would not have possibly stood up to somebody as Shashi Tharoor appeals in a city like Thiruvananthapuram.
Totally.
That was kind of...
Totally. That was a remarkable and strategic move to make sure Rajiv Chandrasekhar to be there, which gives a huge contest to fight in the battleground, that too with Thiruvananthapuram, which is the state capital, and where Shashi Tharoor not even has, he is a mass leader, whether to Congress or to the ground, it is debatable. But one thing I am pretty sure is it is a strategic move to play where the party leader like Rajiv Chandrasekhar, who made sure there is an indomitable BJP is lying down the current place. That for sure we can agree with that.
Yeah, so I would sort of agree with him. The BJP did a gamble, right? Rajiv Chandrasekhar, if he had been, the other option was Bangalore. It would have been a fairly safe seat. If Rajiv Chandrasekhar had contested from one of the Bangalore seats, in all probability he would have won. So BJP gave up a safe seat to put up a fight in against Mr. Tharoor. So I think that was the kind of gamble the BJP played. It was more about optics than necessarily about winning. It was also about trying to show that you're putting up a fight and you're not running away from this fight.
In fact, Ruhi, the fact remains, the possibility of winning with Rajiv Chandrasekhar, the possibility, was far more than fielding any other hardcore BJP politician that BJP could have fielded. Well, but it is Shashi Tharoor's home turf, but we must remember he's also been an MP for 15 years. So,
but what is an election without a good fight?
Absolutely. That's true, and I'm sure both the candidates, Shashi Tharoor and Rajiv Chandrasekhar, would vouch for that particular one. I'm being joined right now, and as I said, India Bloc, that's a breaking on our screens. India Bloc has taken early leads. We have the results coming in for Uttar Pradesh. India Bloc seems to be ahead on, SP is ahead on at least 15 seats, BJP is ahead on 7 seats. That's the initial lead that we are getting. Chandrasekhar Azad is ahead in his constituency. So that's the breaking that we are getting at this point. Again, very early leads, as I said. I'm also very quickly being joined by my colleagues who are on the ground. Much action happens on the ground. Elections is all about being on the ground. Abhishek from Baramati as well as Deepak from Bengaluru. Deepak, let's go across to you. DK Suresh, Prajwal Revanna in the news. Close, trailing, leading. Is that even, is that in line of what we are likely to find through the day, or is it largely going to change once the count from EVMs comes to the fore? But what are you picking up on the ground? What's the mood?
Well, initial rounds of counting of the EVMs as well has begun in multiple constituencies in the state of Karnataka. Right now, the trends that are coming in is indicating that in about 8 to 9 seats, the Congress is leading. In about 2 seats out of the 3 that the JDS is contesting, they are leading. The third seat where they're trailing is Hassan. Initially, of course, in the postal ballots, we saw a little bit of an upper hand, but after that, he has been trailing, and all eyes, of course, will be on that particular seat. Meanwhile, I'm here at the Adi Chunchanagiri Mutt. Mr. Kumaraswamy, of course, meeting the tops here from the Mutt, Nirmalananda Swamiji here. He's right now inside the chambers. We'll try and get a word from him because he's currently leading from the Mandya constituency as well. A lot happening in the state of Karnataka. While the exit polls have predicted once again a good number for the BJP, the Congress is hopeful of managing at least about 12 or more. That's what most of the leaders have been saying. But right now the numbers are stuck around the 8 to 9 mark. Whether they can improve that tally through the course of the day, that remains to be seen. But of course, the BJP has been hoping that they do really well to compensate on any losses in other states in Karnataka. So all eyes, of course, will be on multiple constituencies here. And Bengaluru Rural, which has been a bastion and the sole seat that was won by the Congress party last time. Just an update for our viewers that DK Suresh, the brother of Mr. DK Shivkumar, is currently trailing from that particular constituency.
Right. Deepak, thank you very much for joining us. I'm also being joined by Abhishek at this point. Abhishek, with what's happening at Baramati, that's one of the questions that everybody really had. Will it continue to be the power place that it has been for the Sharad Pawar's family? It may stay with the family, but really, is it going to change hands? There seems to be at least initial leads for Sunetra Pawar.
The initial leads were definitely for Sunetra Pawar, but as the round progresses now, what we are coming to know is that again, Supriya Sule is leading, and that's why it's a tough fight. It cannot be predictable at whether Supriya Sule or Sunetra Pawar. And remember, Baramati is one of the high-profile seats, and Baramati has always voted for the Pawar family right from 2014, 2019. This is term Supriya Sule is contesting from there. But now the political dynamics have changed after the split in NCP, and we have seen senior Pawar fighting versus the junior Pawar. And definitely at one side we have Ajit Pawar with the political developmental agenda, who is a deputy chief minister, and on the other side we have Supriya Sule riding on the sympathy wave for Sharad Pawar after the split of the party. And definitely it's a big challenge for the people of Baramati who have already voted, and now whom they have voted for is something we are closely monitoring. But as we speak, currently the lead has changed, and now Supriya Sule is leading from Baramati and Sunetra Pawar is trailing. But definitely this is just initial leads. We will have to wait till the afternoon to get the clarity, and whether Supriya Sule gets a third term or will there be a surprise of Sunetra Pawar winning the seat is something that needs to be closely monitored. Back to you.
Right, Abhishek, thank you very much for joining us. So, Ruhi, what's your sense you're getting from Maharashtra? It's more than just which side is going to win, which alliance is going to win. It's also about which alliance the people manage to trust through despite all the shifts and change that's happened.
Right, I think it is a bit of a survival battle for both the factions of the NCP and the Shiv Sena, because they've both taken huge risks and it's a gamble for both of them. It would also set the tone for the assembly elections that are due later in the year in the state, which are going to be far more complex because of these factions. So I think Maharashtra, that way, I've said it from day one, it's a big khichdi. One doesn't know what's going to happen there, what's happening there. And I think even some seats like Baramati, for instance, it's going to go down to the wire. These are going to be seats for which we have to wait for the election commission results to be able to tell what's happening. The other thing about Maharashtra is that it would, both the BJP as well as the Congress, or mostly the BJP, will have to think about who they have aligned with and whether that alliance is working for them. Because, at the end of the day, Shiv Sena, the Thackeray legacy is important, right? And the BJP has always been a natural Shiv Sena ally. Now, the Shiv Sena is split into two, and then NCP has been more of a Congress ally, but suddenly the BJP has one faction of it. So these are causing a bit of confusion, even ideological confusion, as far as Maharashtra is concerned. And the BJP will have to think about how it wants to go forward in Maharashtra.
All right. In fact, I'm told we are also being joined by Charu Pragya. I'm joined by more guests as well. I'll introduce them in a bit. Charu Pragya, you've been waiting for a while now. Charu, give us the sense, initial leads that are coming in. Maharashtra, let's start with that. Sunetra Pawar may be leading at places, but largely the battle is also about which alliance manages to push through with all the changes that have happened.
Absolutely. Good morning. Now, this is the day when we are celebrating the best of our democracy. We are waiting to see election results, and I believe it's going to be a thumping majority win for the NDA, and we're going to create history with this. Maharashtra, everybody is taking a look at, because this is the first time there are many, many political parties in the fray, and some which are very new because older political parties have split. But one thing remains very clear. The work which has been done in our country in the last 10 years and the vision our Prime Minister has for our country for the next 25 years is what is driving this election. And that is the only thing that is going to matter at the end of the day for most of the voters. So in spite of this discussion being, what will happen with the newly formed NDA alliance, etc., I don't think there'll be any surprises. In fact, I believe that we'll be beating very comfortably our tally in 2019, and we are looking forward to a great next 5 years.
All right. Charu, I'm also being joined by Anand Paranjpe, who's a NCP leader, as well as Nilanjan Mukhopadhyay. All right. I'm told Anand is not there. We are also being joined by Nilanjan Mukhopadhyay, as well as Swati Malik. Thank you very much for joining us. Swati, to you, with the initial leads that are emerging, let's also look at what seems to be the numbers that BJP is getting, at least what's being told about BJP and the NDA. Do you really look at the prospect of what Congress or the India Alliance could have done to this election vis-a-vis what really has happened?
Comment on what we could have done better, because only the starting trends right now, and even if you go by just by the starting trends, what I see is that India is 205 plus and NDA is rather 277 plus is the trend that I was seeing. So even if you see these numbers, the whole narrative that was created by the Prime Minister, by the BJP about 400 par and this is going to be historic, etc. Right now, they're not even matching up to what it was in 2019. So you can see the narrative fail. You can only by the trend so far. Although, like I said, my caveat is that this is only little comment right now. This is too early to go by what we could have done better. But looking at the trends, the narrative created by the Prime Minister, whether all those gimmicks of him going into, the meditation zone that he goes into with his camera, or other things like that, the whole, the divisive politics that they have been playing. Whether he says that, okay, I will not talk about Hindu-Muslims, and then the next speech he talks about Hindu-Muslims. When you see all that, so in these trends, in these results, we realize that voter is not, we cannot take the voter for granted. Just like we failed in 2014 and 19 to create our dent. In 2014-19, we somehow could not convince our voters about our manifesto, about what our vision is for the country. But now in 2024, we can see, even by the trends, how from 91, it is almost double right now. So we are already doing better, and I am sure it is only going to get better from here, and we will form the majority.
All right, at least Uttar Pradesh for now, Congress may have some relief. It seems to be having at least the leads that are coming in for the India bloc at this point seems to be good. Clyde Castro, we seem... All right, we seem to have some audio issues with Clyde Castro at this point. Nilanjan Mukhopadhyay, what really unfolds with this election? What would be the key takeaways?
Well, at the moment, it's very difficult to say what are the key takeaways because it's still a counting in process. About half an hour ago, when I was at a different location on the same program, I pointed out that the trends, what was happening since morning was beginning to reverse, and that is what has happened now. We need trends of only about 20 seats, and the entire NDA is just at hovering around 300 mark, short by 25%.
And largely by postal ballots.
And no. By now there would be a fair amount of EVMs. That is when the trend reversal began. About half an hour, 40 minutes ago is when the EVM votes started getting added into the trends. So since then there is a reversal of process. So at the moment, out of 543 seats, just about we need the trends of only about 20 more. Out of the 510 or 520 odd constituencies where we have the trends from, the NDA is leading in only 303, which is 25% less of its target of 400. 303 if for the entire NDA means that the BJP. The big question is it going to slip below 272, a clear majority on its own, or whether it is going to be above? It clearly at the moment is not going to win 303, which won in 2019. So definitely it is, if this trend is maintained, then definitely it's a decline in the performance of the BJP. It's not an enhanced mandate, but it is a declined mandate if this actually becomes the result.
So just a couple of points, to add to what Mr. Mukhopadhyay said. So first of all, yes, these are trends. That's why I'm very cautious about what I'm saying, because these are trends. There are seats that are probably somebody's leading by a margin of 1,000 votes, which can just reverse in no time. So
and that's why you're having such close
battles. And there are states like that, which are like Maharashtra, for instance, a state with 48 seats has close battles. But this 400 par, 400 par, is something I don't think the BJP also thought was realistic. I mean, come on, 400 par is really a huge figure. It was more to enthuse the cadres. I think the whole idea was to enthuse the cadres and workers and to make it seem like, to give them some kind of enthusiasm to work towards. But if the BJP, even if they win and they form the government, this 400 par is going to haunt them, because they will be taunted for talking about it and not being able to reach it. So they only have themselves to blame for that.
They'll also be taunted if they do not touch 303.
Right.
People will all the time point out 2019
but
you
who
are
are they going to be taunted by though?
There will be a stronger opposition.
No, and also I think the BJP again has itself to blame. If you're coming back with whatever mandate in the third term, you're still winning, which means the mandate is for you. But if you talk about large numbers and you don't get those, then you become a bit of a laughing point, right?
No, can you understand what it would mean, if the NDA has a majority, but the BJP does not have? So that means that the BJP is dependent on one or two allies, lower than 272. If then it's dependent on at least one or two allies for majority all the time.
Okay. All right. I'm also being told at this point that we have Clyde Crasto with us. I believe we have been able to get through to you. Your audio is all ready. You can hear us loud and clear. Clyde Crasto, what would you see as the emerging trends with Maharashtra? It seems Baramati at present, even as we speak, and it's been for a while now, that Sunetra Pawar really is on the lead. And as it may be too early, Clyde, but it's still a lead.
I'm getting real-time updates. No, I'm getting real-time updates.
Okay,
I don't know where are you getting it from. The
real-time update. Yes, you're right. We've just got the real-time lead as well. So Supriya Sule is now leading. Correct. You're right.
Yeah. She's been leading for a while now.
So that's shifted now. It's Supriya Sule who's leading.
Numbers. Yeah. So in Maharashtra, if you see the numbers now, the India Alliance is leading on 27 seats, and 21 is for the NDA. So that's what we've been trying to say all this while. Look at the exit polls and look at everything. But what has happened specifically in Maharashtra, if you're going to talk about it, is the people are upset with the dirty politics played by Bharatiya Janata Party. Breaking parties, breaking families. And I've been on record on your channel and other channels that Bharatiya Janata Party is going to pay for what they have done, is to bring in the Eknath Shinde camp and the Ajit Pawar into their fold. If they had got alone, they would have probably done much better. But they brought these people, and why I say so, these are the same people the Honorable Prime Minister called Naturally Corrupt Party, accused Ajit Pawar ji of 70,000 crore scams. I was defending Ajit Pawar ji when he was with us, and I'm still saying it. It was accused by the Bharatiya Janata Party leaders. They accused all the leaders of Eknath Shinde camp, and then when they came into their fold, they were not talking. But the people realized that if they were going to call them corrupt and bring them into their fold, why should we vote for them? And this is what is showing. Secondly, I just heard somebody saying that, if they don't touch 303 like the last time also, people are going to talk against the Bharatiya Janata Party for sure. But let me tell you one thing. Across the country, every constituency, people said, vote for Narendra Modi ji. Don't look at the candidate, vote for Narendra Modi ji. So if the Bharatiya Janata Party does not get the 303 that they did last time, or they even go down, forget 400 par. 400 par is going to be a nightmare for the Bharatiya Janata Party. That slogan is going to be like a nightmare for every BJP cadre or BJP leader who said 400 par.
Let me just stop you here. It's interesting.
Yeah.
So the market, Clyde Traster, give me a few minutes. Clyde Traster, give me a few minutes. It's interesting because markets have literally been on a high, and we are now reporting that markets seem to be on a decline.
That's understandable, right? I think the exit polls put the markets on the high, and exit polls are usually a little exaggerated in any case. So
true. So markets on the decline.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
It's not a steep run, a bull run as the exit polls had expected, but largely people had anticipated that there may be a decline in the markets as the voting, as the counting begins.
During counting, when the counting is in progress, markets, it's natural for it to be a little shaky. It's only when the results come out that you'll know whether there's an actual decline or an uptick.
The point is that the markets are definitely going to look at the poor performance of the BJP-led NDA as a bad sign, because then it's political instability. Because political stability has got associated with Mr. Modi and the government for the last 10 years. So anything else which is outside of Mr. Modi would suddenly, everybody is going to be uncertain. Who will be the Prime Minister?
Okay.
That will be the first thing. For instance, the NDA is down below 300 for the first time. The India bloc is up over 200. We do not know what will happen in the next 2 hours. We have had some dramatic changes taking place through the counting process. Numerous, elections I can count, where we have been in the studios and seeing everything getting reversed.
And let me tell our viewers,
to be cautious about saying anything till you have final numbers.
No, and we have not even started talking about the close contests.
Even this does not mean that the India bloc is doing a good, putting up a good show.
These are trends, and let's be cautious about trends.
True, and even as we start looking at constituencies, there are some constituencies
too early,
very close battles.
Is changing.
So,
yeah, Baramati has been changing by the minute. So it's.
Ajit Yashwant also joins us. Ajit, you just heard Clyde Trasto. How much of what he has said do you agree with? I mean, you both don't see each other eye to eye when it comes to the political line, but on the counting day, how do you counter what he's saying?
Personally, that this is too early to comment on any results of any seats or what scenario is going to get upward. But I feel that in next couple of hours, things will be more clear, and there will be a lot of surprises from Baramati as well. So we are just going according to what the trails that we are getting at this moment. And as you rightly said, every minute you can see the results are changing. So whatever updates that we are getting are just changing minute to minute. So we just need to wait for some more time. And I'm sure that with the National President, Shri Ajit Pawarji, we will be performing in a very good state in state of Maharashtra. And we'll be there getting winning seats in Maharashtra as well.
Okay. Ram Pratap Singh, also the national spokesperson for the Samajwadi Party, joins us right now. Heartening for the India bloc at this point as results emerge from Uttar Pradesh?
Good morning. Yes, it's a very encouraging start. And certainly one thing stands established, that there is no pan-India wave in favor of BJP, and all the hype about 400 plus, etc., stands debunked. And also what the exit polls were trying to predict for last 2 days, and it stands challenged now. And each state, as I said earlier in my several discourses, is behaving the way it was expected to. And similarly, for UP, if I have to talk, that it's certainly very encouraging, because the issues on ground were real. And the government of the day and the BJP just weren't willing to listen to the problems of the people, the rampant unemployment, the absolute poverty in so many districts in UP. And that's what people are now come out and voted against the BJP. Over to you.
That's interesting, Ram Pratap Singh. Ruhi, do you really think, and is this the truth? Issues that people would often talk about on the ground were not really reflected in the campaigns and the politics that played out.
Look, I would repeat what I said. This election for the BJP was about whether you want Narendra Modi back or not. So whatever the mandate is, they should understand the mandate themselves, because they were not talking about local issues. They are always... See, there is a limit. I've said this earlier. There is a limit to how much people will vote just for PM Modi and how much they want to vote for the local candidate. And there are many, many people in Uttar Pradesh that the BJP put up who were unpopular. I can tell you Smriti Irani was very unpopular. Sakshi Maharaj is very unpopular. Hema Malini is very unpopular. There's only so much that you can do under Narendra Modi's name. So it could be perhaps a lesson for the BJP going forward that elections in Modi's name will have limitations. People want to see what the immediate MPs are doing. Just very quickly, I'm looking at numbers in Haryana as well, and both Haryana and Maharashtra go to polls this year. Yes. Very, very interesting numbers. Congress doing well in Haryana. BJP will have some serious rethink to do in Haryana. Again, the BJP has really squandered the state away in the last, I don't know what it has been doing in Haryana, especially with the leadership, etc. So both states, BJP will have a lot of re-strategizing and rethinking to do.
There's also another important thing which we have to see. 1/3 of BJP's candidates were those who came from other parties. So it created tremendous resentment within its own ranks. You know, the people who have grown vertically within the BJP over the last 2-3 decades, everybody aspires to be nominated to fight elections. But if you don't, and somebody comes from outside, lateral entry, what they call, in politics, it's extremely upsetting for the cadre and the people who have come up. So that's another problem.
Charu Pragya, you heard both the panelists here with us, Mr. Nilanjan Mukhodaya. All right, we have Vinita Hariharan with us. So Vinita, I believe you heard both what Ruhi as well as Nilanjan Mukhopadhyay spoke. Do you believe, one, that there are possibly limitations to fighting an election under the banner name of Prime Minister Modi vis-a-vis what the MPs would be, or is that a no-gamer at all? Vinita Hariharan.
Good morning. So definitely, we've never fought the elections just on the basis of... Yeah, can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Okay, Vinita, since we have this audio delay, let that just get fixed. I'm told we're also getting a response from the Election Commission of India. Let's just quickly listen in.
So that जितने भी लोग जानना चाहते हैं, देखना चाहते हैं, उन्हें कोई परेशानी ना हो. और सभी आरओस को जो 542 कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसीज में इस समय काउंटिंग करा रहे हैं, जहां करीब 65,000 से ऊपर की टेबल्स लगी हुई हैं, हर जगह में उनको कहा गया है कि पोलिंग एजेंट्स को और कैंडिडेट्स को निश्चित रूप से बैठने दें, पूरी पारदर्शिता के साथ काउंटिंग करें, जो रूल बुक है उसका पालन अक्षरते करें, मतलब एक भी वायलेशन नहीं होनी चाहिए, अदरवाइज खैर नहीं है. यानी जो रूल बुक है उसका पालन करें, पारदर्शिता से पालन करें, कैंडिडेट्स को और उनके एजेंट्स को हर जगह में शामिल रखें. सीसीटीवी फुटेज 24/7 लेते रहें हर प्रक्रिया का, ताकि पूरी पारदर्शिता बनी रहे. तो जैसे वोट डालने में मेहनत की, उसी तरीके से आज यहाँ भी पूरी पारदर्शिता के साथ वो सब लोग काम कर रहे हैं.
सर, अगर किसी तरह की गड़बड़ी की रिपोर्ट मिलती है तो किस तरह का एक्शन आप लेते हैं?
हम लोग खुद यहाँ बैठे हुए हैं, हमारे सारे सेंट्रल ऑब्जर्वर्स बैठे हुए हैं. हर काउंटिंग सेंटर में एक सेंट्रल ऑब्जर्वर है जो वहाँ बैठा हुआ है. वो सर्टिफाई करेगा रिजल्ट को हर राउंड के, उसी के बाद डिक्लेयर होगा. हमारा एजेंट है वो, हमारे मतलब आईज एंड ईयर्स वहाँ बैठे हुए हैं. हम उनके सबके कॉन्टेक्ट में हैं. और
Okay, that was the Election Commission of India speaking.
If I can just come in for a second. I think the Election Commission of India hasn't exactly covered itself in glory in these elections at all, or even in the last elections. The elections on the ground are fair, are conducted very well, but what the election commissioners sitting in Delhi do and turn a blind eye to as far as the ruling party is concerned really undermines the work done by the polling officers on the field. So the Election Commission also needs to think a little bit about the objectivity, the fairness that the Election Commission was associated with after Mr. T.N. Session came and after the Election Commission was given some teeth.
All right, that's also something that the opposition has been claiming a lot. Vinita Hariharan, do you want to respond to what Ruhi just said and also to what the earlier statements were about what seems to be parachuting leaders and bringing them into party as leaders, as candidates, vis-a-vis the brand Modi, as it were?
Yes, so as I was speaking earlier, the brand Modi is definitely there. It is Modi's Vikas agenda, Modi ji's Vikas agenda on the ground, which was being actually, propagated and which was used as a campaign plank, not so much of, the personality per se. Of course, Modi ji's personality was, was there all across because he's a 24/7 Karyakarta, as we all know it. So he's there whenever a candidate needs him, wherever he's required. He was there across the country, doing road shows and campaigns, definitely. But nevertheless, that doesn't undermine the local leadership or doesn't undermine local leaders on the ground, because they are the ones who translate these programs and the Vikas agenda on the ground. If it is not for their efficacy, it would never have been translated to the voters and how they are voting today. So I don't think it's just a pure, Modi leadership alone, but it's Modi was along with all the local leaders. So it's always been a double-engine philosophy that we've adopted. So I don't think it's just, blindly following just one central leadership. It's always been a combined effort, and it's always been a federal, cooperative federalism structure which has been followed across. So we still maintain that.
Okay. Interesting. One of the conversations that one can really have in this election is also the party cadres.
Yes.
What seems to be the reality of BJP party cadres vis-a-vis what seems to be the reality of Congress party cadres, and then you have the role of regional parties that seem to have even much stronger party cadres than what presently in many places Congress would boast of. We'll come to that in a bit. I'm being joined by Nikhil right now, who is at the AICC headquarters. Yes.
We finally have trends of 543. And at the moment, the NDA, this figure, is below 300. So if this is actually maintained, then there would be a certain amount of an uncertainty. Obviously, there will be a NDA government, but then the BJP is not going to be getting 272 on its own. So I think, then that is going to change the inner dynamics of the NDA. It will not be the NDA of 2014 to 2024, where you have a dominant prime minister not really giving much political respect to the allies. They really had NDA meetings between 2019 and 2024. Last year in 23, when they had the first meeting of the NDA, that was after a long, long time.
Let's see whether this really is.
These are trends.
True.
But at the moment, we must record that we have complete trends of 543, and that the NDA combined is not touching 300.
Okay, even as we have our reporters on the ground, but I'm also being told at this point that Kangana Ranaut is leading in Mandi.
I think it was widely expected, though some people said that she had turned out to be a very unpopular person. But Himachal Pradesh, in any case, the BJP was expected to do well in a parliamentary elections. They lost the last assembly elections. But yes, for Prime Ministerial elections, Mr. Modi has a good draw there. We cannot forget the fact that as National General Secretary, when he was shifted out from Gujarat in the 90s, between 95 and 97, 98, Mr. Modi was stationed in Chandigarh, and among the states which he was handling for the BJP, Himachal Pradesh was one of them. So that is his political terrain. Than anything else.
That's true, but even as we are speaking about Kangana Ranaut, who's again, as you mentioned, a celebrity who's been parachuted into electoral politics by the BJP. On the other side, you have Vikramaditya. So again, somebody
there are always, the fact that film stars have always done well. You have had Hema Malini winning seats from Mathura. You have had Jayaprada previously winning from Rampur, where, nowhere kind of a place as far as Jayaprada was concerned. She was actually, if there was anybody who has been paratrooped was Hema Malini and Jayaprada.
And Hema Malini is, of course, now quite a successful MP, if I may say, in terms of the number of times she's elected. Let's just stop this. Just give us few. That's another thing that we will be discussing. But give us few minutes. I'm being joined by Nikhil as well as Mohit. Nikhil joins us from the Congress headquarters, and Mohit joins us from the BJP headquarters. Nikhil, or let's just go across. Okay, Nikhil, let's go across to you first. Nikhil, what's the sense you're getting? Is there any action? Is there any laddus? Is there any mithais? Is there any puris? Is there any chola bhaturas? Let's get to the point first. It's breakfast time.
So, Sneha, the energy is something which can be felt from the AICC headquarters, which is the headquarters of the Congress party, and there are a couple of setups which can be seen here. I would like my camera person to show you in the very first place. This is the first setup which is being shown here. Sir, थोड़ा सा आगे जाइए, एक बार अंदर जाके दिखाइए क्या अंदर चल रहा है. So these are not just the setups for the media personals, but also for the workers who are arriving here. And we can say that good setup has been done in view of the heat wave which are currently prevailing in the capital city. So this media room and the workers room as well completely filled with these people, and there are multiple screens as well which are set up. By and large, we can see the presence of the media. So this is the hall number 1. Sir, दूसरी जगह भी जाना है, पीछे को आइए. So we are going to show you the other setup as well, where the workers of the Congress party are present in a huge number, or in decent number is what we can say. And the arrangements for the breakfast is equally present here. But energy is something we were mentioning earlier as well, Sneha, that this is something that can be felt right here at the place. The workers are gradually, they have started coming in at the AICC headquarters. They are still very much hopeful about the win, although the results which are coming in, these are just the initial trends. And this is the picture. This is the second setup which we are showing you from inside the AICC headquarters. The workers of the Congress party can be seen here. There are different spaces which have been made to see the election results in real time. And every time, whenever the India Alliance leaders say, show a huge win or a decent win, they start clapping and be cheering for the Congress party. Even the shank is something which is being blown out here. These are the workers who can be seen here. And all these are the workers of the Congress party. विजय शंखनाद है. एक बात बताइए, आप शंख लेकर के आए, शंखनाद की बात कर रहे हैं, अभी तो इनिशियली ट्रेंड है ये.
2024 पतन निश्चित. इस तनाजा का अंत करने के लिए ऐसा आदमी 5 महीना पहले.
Okay, so we are going to show you another setup, which is the last setup, and this is the indoor setup which we are showing you. Sir, एक बार आप अंदर आ जाइए, थोड़ा सा दिखा दीजिए कितने लोग बैठे हुए. So this is the third setup which can be seen here. So all the arrangements have been made by the Congress party headquarters to make some of the decent setups for the workers in particular, because it is the scorching heat condition outside. So the indoor setups have equally been made here. But to talk about the figures in particular, whatever the numbers which are coming, these are just the initial trend. But there are 327 seats where the Congress party is contesting, and the direct contest between the Bharatiya Janata Party and Congress party is on 173 seats. So those particular seats becomes equally important here. But as we were mentioning in the very first place, that not just the laddus and the breakfast thing, but also the energy and vibe is something which can be felt right here at the AICC headquarters, because the workers who have arrived here, they are still very much positive and hopeful about the better results from their side. Back to you.
Right, thank you, Nikhil. Mohit, you're at the BJP headquarters. Take us through what's happening there.
Well, you see, BJP workers have been strictly by the central leadership, the top leadership, not to celebrate early. And we have seen that how the scenario has changed. Now, it's a very tough fight that has been given by India bloc to the NDA. Right now, these are the scenes at the BJP headquarters. This is the media shed over here. And Sneha, I'll show you the scenes over here. Very interesting posters have been put up over here at the media stand. You can see that how Prime Minister Narendra Modi's picture flagging of Vande Bharat has been put over here. The Prime Minister Narendra Modi's picture picture at the Ayodhya's consecration, Ram Mandir consecration ceremony has also been put over here. So this has been the model of the BJP, and PM has been talking about Vikas bhi, Virasat bhi. So that is the part over here where the BJP is focusing on. But we know that how the initial trends are showing a very tough fight between the NDA and the India bloc, and that is why perhaps the BJP has clearly told their workers that wait till 1 or 2 p.m. where the things will be clear, and after that the celebration might take place if BJP gets the majority. Now, what happens after it? The BJP is planning that the Prime Minister Narendra Modi will come to BJP headquarters extension at around 7 p.m. and then he will be addressing party workers along with BJP President JP Nadda. Now, that all will happen if BJP wins these elections. But given the fact that how we have seen in UP, Samajwadi Party is doing extremely well.
Before we get
see
into
in
that
Maharashtra
mode,
too, the allies of the
Right. Thank you very much, Mohit. Thank you for joining us, giving us a sense from the BJP headquarters. Thank you, Nikhil, for joining us. Will it be fair to say, Ruhi, with the early trends that it's not like a sweep that BJP was hoping, that NDA was hoping, or is it still premature to say that?
It's obviously premature to say anything because these are early trends. But if these numbers are anything to go by, of course, it's not a sweep by the BJP that it was expecting. And I think Congress has good reason to celebrate. Look, I mean, obviously for a party to win just 100 seats is not ideal for a party that's a pan-India party and that has been, in power for most of independent India's elections. But having said that, it reached such a low point that anything significantly more than what it won in 2019, I think the Congress has good reason to celebrate, at least for the party. It's not plateauing, it's looking up.
Okay, I'm being told Clyde Crasto wants to speak in at this point. Clyde, go ahead.
Well, like I said, I was trying to tell you earlier, we've been talking about BJP, and they said even if they don't get 303, it's going to be a big deal, so that's a fact. But I want to stress this point very clearly, is that during the election campaign, anywhere you went, they only spoke about that vote for Modi ji. The vote should go to Modi ji and not the candidate. So the point here is, if BJP goes anything under what they won last time, that means it is a clear mandate against Narendra Modi ji. Because if they had done all the work, if Modi ji was the person that they wanted the votes for, they should have crossed, like they said, 400. Ab ki baar 400 par. So anything that is under 300 or 303 that they got last time, and if the trends are showing right now, because I'm seeing some other channel, I don't want to mention it on your channel because it's a different channel altogether, they are showing much higher numbers for India Alliance compared to NDA. So if that happens, and if they don't get the numbers, then it is a clear mandate against Mr. Modi, because India has voted against him. That's very clear right now. Because now slowly, if you see on different channels, and I'm reading, now the spokespersons of the BJP are saying, no, it's not just Modi ji, it's also the local candidate. But I have been campaigning on the road, I have been giving speeches, and I've been listening to other speeches, and they only kept saying in every kind of election rally that you have to vote for Modi ji. For the moment, don't think of the candidate, it's for Modi ji. So if the win is for Modi ji, then I'm sure the loss also should be for Modi ji. They shouldn't put up Nadda ji's photographs now. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay, let me just get in. I think we have Vinita Hariharan still with us from BJP. Do you want to make a quick response to Clyde Crasto?
Well, I think the parties can speak for themselves and about their campaign rather than talk about our campaign and our strategies, because if you see the early trend, it's just about not even 10 a.m. and we are still leading. So, I mean, Congress can definitely celebrate because they've gone from nowhere to somewhere. So, which is definitely encouraging also for the BJP, because we need opposition. We don't want unopposed voices in the parliament, definitely. So, we are, we encourage opposition. We encourage voices from the opposition. So, but definitely these are early trends. So, let them hold their horses and let them not criticize, the leading party's campaign, and let them reflect upon themselves of how they could, how they've reached so far, whatever it has been. Let them introspect, but not comment on our strategies and our campaigns. So whatever is our campaign has been successful so far, and let's see how it goes from here.
We almost got a sense of what the rhetoric would be from the opposition and the ruling, if at all this trend continues.
The BJP saying that it would want an opposition in parliament, and that it would respect opposition is very good for the country and for democracy as a whole. This fact about local candidates, blaming them, it's a very typical kind of. We have seen enough leader-centric parties in India. Mr. Modi is not the first one to be leading. The individual becomes more party than the organization. We've had Rajiv Gandhi period. We have had the Indira Gandhi period. We had the Nehru period. It's always been the case. The victory is the leaders. The defeat is the candidates. Always.
I just very quickly, because we mentioned how the BJP is talking about a healthy opposition is good. I'm interested in knowing what's happening in Delhi, because you put a sitting chief minister in jail. Does that have repercussions for the BJP, or does it not matter?
Oh, but since you mentioned that, do we still have Kanimori leading in Tuticorin? Is that the lead for Kanimori? That will be interesting to see. Because initially, according to what we were getting initially, Kanimori was leading in Tuticorin. So maybe if our team could just check on that aspect as well. And I'm told that we also have reactions that have been lined up, reactions that have come in from different leaders. Let's just quickly listen into some key ones.
Total confidence we have. Comfortably we will going to win. From our party, all the three candidates, not only our candidates, three candidates, from BJP also in Karnataka, minimum, our BJP friends also will get minimum 20 seats.
पिछली 2 बार से रिकॉर्ड तोड़ बहुमत से पूर्वी दिल्ली जीती थी भाजपा ने। इस बार क्या उम्मीद?
इस बार भी जनता का भरपूर आशीर्वाद और प्यार मिलने जा रहा है।
इस बार जिस तरीके से गठबंधन हुआ, क्या चुनौती दे पाया वो इस बार?
वैसे तो आज पता लग जाएगा, लेकिन जिस तरह से 81 दिनों में जनता ने आशीर्वाद दिया है, समर्थन दिया है, प्यार दिया है नरेंद्र मोदी जी के 10 वर्षों के कार्यों को लेकर के, मुझे लगता है कि दिल्ली में 7 सीटों पर कमल खिलने जा रहा है। एनडीए 400 पार होगा और नरेंद्र मोदी जी तीसरी बार प्रधानमंत्री बने।
अगर पूर्वी दिल्ली सीट की बात करें, उनका जो इतिहास है मिला जुला रहा है, कभी कांग्रेस तो कभी बीजेपी, लेकिन 2 बार से बीजेपी त्रिकोणीय जो मुकाबला हुआ उसमें जीतती गई है। इस बार दोनों पार्टियों ने गठबंधन किया, आम आदमी पार्टी हो या कांग्रेस, और इनके लिए कहीं ना कहीं मजबूत गढ़ भी रहा है कांग्रेस के लिए एक समय पे पूर्वी दिल्ली। क्या लगता है कांग्रेस इस बार ज्यादा समर्थन दे पाएगी? उनके जो कार्यकर्ता निकल पाए, समर्थन उतना दिया जितना देना चाहिए था या नहीं?
मुझे लगता है आम आदमी पार्टी चुनाव लड़ रही थी, तो इनका जो गठबंधन, इन्होंने जो सो कॉल्ड गठबंधन किया था वो मन से नहीं था, जिसके कारण से आम आदमी पार्टी खुद भी अलग थलग और अकेली दिखाई दी।
Ram Pratap Singh, quite something. SP still continuing its leads from Uttar Pradesh. That must be heartening for sure. But this could also see reversals as BJP strongholds see the votes increasing in their favor again.
The trends are continuing to hold on, and that's very, very encouraging for us. That we've almost very close to the halfway mark, as I can see on your screen. And we stand vindicated where in this campaign, which we built up for this election in UP, we were fighting on issues on the ground. We were trying to bring to fore issues of talking about issues of unemployment. And also this whole thing about 400 par meant that probably somewhere the constitution was under threat. And this was also one of our poll planks that we wanted people to understand that, and what BJP spokesperson just said now, that they want a very strong opposition. Well, coming from them, that's very, very encouraging.
Okay. And Swati Malik, do you want to very quickly respond?
Please, I couldn't hear clearly.
Swati Malik, the SP as well as Congress together managed to hold on to their leads when it comes to Uttar Pradesh early, but still.
See, please, the progress so far, and not just Uttar Pradesh. Uttar Pradesh, it's totally, absolutely, the tables have completely turned. But even look at Maharashtra for that matter, look at Haryana for that matter, look at Karnataka for that matter. So wherever, Rajasthan for that matter, right? So wherever there was complete sweep by the BJP in 2019, and that is where we have been able to make a dent. Uttar Pradesh alliance is working very well, and as you can see very clearly, it has resulted in a positive outcome. Whatever was being said about the alliance initially, whether we'll be able to contest together, whether we'll be able to stay together till the end of the election, etc., is all being proved wrong now. So yes, we will be able to hold ground even better, and our lead is going to get better now in the next 1 hour, and I'm sure we'll discuss that again.
Okay, let's just look at the numbers, the early trends before we just get the last comments. NDA still right now at 302. India Alliance at 211, others at 30. These are the initial trends. It's what? It's barely 3 hours.
It's barely, you know, we still have another
2 hours since
counting starts at 8.
So it was 1 hour possibly.
I think we'll require another 2 hours to get a complete sense
because a lot of seats seem to be very close margins right now. So,
no, even in UP at one point it appeared that the SP-led alliance was leading ahead of BJP, but now the figures have reversed a bit. I'm sure that, you know, for the next 2 hours they'll keep on vacillating from one side to the other, but the trend is being maintained that the NDA is nowhere near the 400 mark. Now I think it is important to keep track that is the BJP on its own going to cross the 272 mark or not. That is something we have to start keeping an eye on, because with the kind of numbers and the variation which is showing, BJP is going to be very close to either this side or that side of the magic mark.
You know, a quick word on women.
Yes.
The record number of women that have voted in India. I think if you look at it, it was the last 3 elections, including this one, that has seen an increase in the number of women, particularly crossing men who have voted, in terms of the numbers of women who have been able to go and exercise their franchise vis-a-vis men. Is that telling? Is that telling that I got a sense that this possibly is one of the arenas where they are exercising their domain?
Well, it's been there for quite some time. You know, we have been seeing, at least from the 1980s onwards, you know, the elections we've seen, increased women participation, increased evidence of women voting separately from the men in the family, having a clear political opinion, not being very gullible. You know, it would be very incorrect to say that women don't understand politics. You know, I'm talking about the women who are in the rural area, that they're as participative and they have a very strong voice of their own. That is not recognized by a society which is actually steeped in patriarchy, and I'm sorry to say, most of the political parties have also been steeped in patriarchy. You know, the Women's Reservation Bill has been hanging on for so long, and finally it was implemented. But yes, we do not have the promissory date yet on the bill. It still remains something, you know, in the realm of future.
Look,
maybe a possibility.
The fact remains that political parties are increasingly realizing the importance of the woman vote, which is why all schemes, whether it's by the centre or by various state governments, regional parties, are directed at women. So women are obviously a key constituency who are going out to vote, thinking on their own, seeing what's due to them, what they are getting, choosing to go and vote. That's why the turnout is increased.
Yeah, I just have one problem with the kind of schemes which are done in the name of women. They are all household, you know, issues, you know. Gas is being supplied, you know, or water, and all, which should be actually the concern of everybody in the family.
But unfortunately, that's how our society is. It's the woman who has to bear the brunt of the lack of these.
Unfortunately, interesting leads coming in. Uttar Pradesh, Akhilesh and Dimple are leading. Dimple Yadav is leading in Mainpuri. That was expected. Those are the initial numbers that we are getting in. So heartening. In fact, we are going to be joined by Shreya Dondial at this point. Let's just quickly get in reactions, and then Shreya Dondial takes over with our expert panel.
It's a democratic process of our election process, and I salute all the people who are involved in this electoral process for months together. They dedicated their time months together. So first of all, I think that all the politicians and all the leaders should express their confidence in this process. The whole world is appreciating the democratic process conducted in our the election process, which is democratically conducted in our country. So we have to express our belief and confidence on this process. If some of us express disbelief, people also will lose their confidence. So I am really very happy. People are very confident. Each and every voter, I thank them because they have taken responsibility to cast their vote, to fulfill their democratic right, and whatever may be the result, I salute the voters, and we will carry our service activities further.
मुझे पक्का विश्वास है कि मतगणना के नतीजे इंडिया के पक्ष में होंगे, गठबंधन के पक्ष में होंगे, कांग्रेस के पक्ष में होंगे। और जो एक भ्रम प्रधानमंत्री जी ने 400 के पार और उनके तथाकथित गोदी मीडिया ने फैलाया है, वो भ्रमजाल कुछ ही देर में छट जाएगा। मुझे पूरा विश्वास है कि देश के मतदाताओं ने बदलाव के लिए वोट दिया है और कुछ ही क्षणों में मालूम हो जाएगा कि देश बदलाव की ओर जा रहा है।
ऑल विल बी एल, सब बढ़िया होगा। एग्जिट पोल्स तो